Good evening. Some of you will know me as Will Lord. What I have here is a deer skin which we've taken the grain off of and the hair off of, and we've been soaking it in brine for a couple of days. This is what you need to be doing if you want to make a good quality brain tanned buckskin. Because due to this being completely saturated, all we need to do is, in the first place, just wring off a little bit of the moisture just by running it through the hands. This can be experienced as a smelly and an unpleasant experience, but as soon as you can get over that, you can get on with the job. For those of you that don't know buckskin, it's probably one of the most tactile materials on the face of the planet. It's gone through a lot, and so is the person who made it. This might not look very big at the moment, but believe you me, once we stretch it out, this is going to gain size, and it's not only going to gain size, but it's going to gain thickness. This thickness is going to, I'm hoping, is going to be the deciding factor between a failure of a buckskin and a winning buckskin. It wants to be thick, soft and fluffy. So what I have achieved so far is to extract the majority of the moisture that was just hanging around, so that I could literally fold this around like a polo around this top beam. And now what I need to do is I need to begin to roll this in like a loop. As you can see, I've got a little bit hanging low here. We may be able to convert that into the roll in a moment. As we go. So this stage in itself is called ringing. It's where you take as much moisture out of the situation as you can. Because what follows is the drying and the stretching, and if you've really been lazy here, what you're going to find is that that's going to just cost you. So all we've got now is something that you can just continue to roll round. If it needs some more rolling in, then that's great. We just keep rolling that in. If there's anything hanging out, tuck it in, get rid of it. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times to make this successful. And what I've got here is, it wasn't designed to do this. This is an axe handle that I haven't finished. So basically I'm going to pop that through there, into that tunnel. What we're now going to do is we're going to begin to turn this. In a minute you'll be hearing lots of sounds. They'll be associated to the moisture leaving. I think that basically what we're doing is we're losing this off of this bar at the moment because there's still just too much moisture in there. So what we'll do is we're going to go back to how we did when we started. We'll pop that back over there, and we're going to keep draining this just by wringing it out. Once we've got enough of this out, what we're going to find is that we can get some gravity over that bar. That bar's bamboo, and it's quite slippery in itself, so that's not helping anything either. You really want something that's got a little bit of anchorage on here. The reason I've decided to start this right now, you can hear the birds, they're singing the sun down, and that ain't the time to be starting a product like this. But I've had 3 days in the brain. I'd rather get it out of the brain and move it into a semi-dry state where it will sit and just wait for me to come back. But I don't want that brain to continue to ferment, because my life's just going to get worse and worse and worse with this. Okay, so there we go. We've had another go at that. Each time when this happens, things are going to get better. So the easiest thing to do now is spread him out and keep him wide, and look at the way that slips on the bar. If it isn't slipping and I've got enough of this to lift and roll, well, that's really good news for me. That's starting to look a little bit more likeable and a little bit more realistic. So let's do 2 rolls from that side, and 2 rolls from this side, and 3 rolls. So this is all coming together, and I can get a little bit of anchorage there now, which is good. Okay, so I think that this one now is probably worth giving it a spin. We'll see how much we get as far as a slip goes between the materials. I know I've got a little bit hanging about where I'm not going to be able to reduce moisture from, but at least we've made a start. And there we go. Can you see that drain? Now the funny thing is about this is you never know whether you're going to be starting to become destructive to the hide. That you'll be surprised. You could actually get your whole body weight behind it. With a deer like this, there's so much strength. You can literally, I could bust a bar before I bust a hide, really. I've got a nice drain going on there. So this is the first drain. Don't you start squeaking. I've got a lot more power to put on you. Sometimes what you can do is you can just anchor that up like that. You can take a break. If you want to, you can push around, you can pull, you can continue to assist the drain. Then the nice thing to do is to release that, let that all fall back. You'll see lots of colours in there where bits have gone dry. Well, not dry as much, but changed somewhat. I like to spread that out a little bit, spin that round a little bit, maybe consider bringing what I wasn't able to get in on the first place back in. So that's back in there now. This can come up. Don't know what that is right at the moment. I guess it's a bit of neck or either leg. And that's looking a little bit more consolidated now. What you'll be pleased to know is my wife's away tonight, and I've got the free run of the house. That means she hasn't got any control on where I go when I leave here. mobile environment, you know. There's so much to be said about this. I really get that this isn't everyone's cup of tea. But it's a good thing to have a go at once in your life. And what you'll bring away from it is something that you could never just buy off the high street. But everyone would want to own it when it's finished. It really is something kind of special. It's just draining from different points. Now I've done it to that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely unwrap it again. I can feel how strong it is now, and that is nothing compared to what I'm going to have to go for. I mean, just to make that stretch open right now takes so much strength, and when we actually start making this into a hide, we're going to have to do that in an extended way. You can actually starting to see little white flecks. What them white flecks are is kind of membrane connected possibilities that you're going to be fighting with later on. You know, this is not a sport for the faint-hearted. You have to work hard, really hard, when it comes down to buckskin, particularly on a scale of this. What you're looking at here is going to be about 6 to 7 foot in length. It looks tiny right now, but this is going to be nearly 7 foot long, nearly 5 foot wide. It's quite small really, when you think about it, but deer skins are fairly robust. You know, they're much thicker than horse skin. But after all, you know, it's just, you can either care, you either give a damn or you don't give a damn about this kind of thing. I do, so everything I've got to say about it is fairly important, because you're busting a gut over it. You got to get into it. If you don't get into it, it's going to beat you up. It's going to beat you up, and you're going to hate it. This isn't even really necessarily Stone Age, it's just something that we can achieve, it's something that we can take, it's something we can make into something that we can wear, we can own, and we've got a story to tell about. It's so much different from just going out and buying something, you know? So as I mentioned earlier, it's late in the day. I shouldn't be doing this right now, but it needed to come out of the brain. And here we've got a conglomerate of strained and mildly drained large red deer skin, and we'll wait for that now. I'll come back at that at a fresher time of day, tomorrow probably, and I'll start releasing moisture probably another 10 to 15 times over that, so I really cannot get even a drop from it. And then I'll start spreading it out, and then the journey of brain tanning to buckskin really begins.